Hello, my friends, and welcome to my kitchen. The wind is blowing like crazy outside, but it's calm here on the inside of my house, here in my kitchen. And I welcome you here so that we can maybe make a path together heading towards 2026. The solstice is a couple of days away. Hooray. I love the winter solstice because then I know we're heading towards spring, right? And I think Christmas just a few days after that. So I hope things are starting to quiet down for you. I know moms out there, does it ever really quiet down? Maybe Christmas morning for a few hours, just a little bit. And I hope that's you. So let me go ahead and let's head into it. And what do you say? Let's grow. All right, so let's dive into what I wanted to share with you today. And please be sure, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, our goal here is to really bring new ideas around gardening, around life, around mindset, because really that's my message that I want to always share is that while gardening and home decor and all that is great, it's all the stuff that goes on up here that really matters. Like if it brings us joy, if it brings us happiness in our life, that's what matters. And this is an excellent time of year. You know, the garden is out there sleeping. Like if you think about it, how, you know, beneath the surface, there's so much going on out in the garden. And I want you to think about that today, how it plays out for you. And during these quieter months ahead of, like today, it's so windy outside that we can't even go outside. They actually turned our power off today. They turned it off a couple days ago. For those of you who are new to the channel, first of all, my name is Sherry. I don't think I said that. And we are right outside of Boulder, Colorado. So we've been having whipping winds, and what they have been doing, because we had fires here a couple of years ago that were pretty devastating. Not pretty devastating, they were very devastating. They turn off the power when the winds start to blow. I mean, they've been blowing here the 40 years I've lived in this area, but they're a little more cautious these days about it. So we are tucked in tight, and hopefully all will be good as we go through this. I don't think you'll hear any of the wind blowing, but in case you do, that's what's going on. So I want you to think about this time. Like, one of the things I like to do in the garden is put compost down at the end of the season. Again, just to really let the nutrients soak in as the roots of the plants just go to sleep for the winter. You think about all the animals that go to sleep for the winter. Now, we can't completely go to sleep, but we can do things with our mind that help us. And one of the things that I like to do this time of year is to decide on a word of the year. It's a word that brings with it a value, something that's important to me in my life. And so that's one of the things I want you to take away today. And I'm going to actually have a goals worksheet that I will put a link to it in the description below that you can go to and to look at your values as they stand right now. And I really bring values down to like a one word, and it could be an action word, it could be, like a verb, it could be a noun, whatever you decide it's going to be that's going to trigger you to really stay focused during the year. Because what happens, January 1st comes and pretty soon we start to get back into the same patterns again. And this is a way to bring you back to focus when you start to get off track. And I don't know about you, but I do get off track from time to time. So it's really a value-based goal that really sits deep within you, because you can say, I want to take a trip somewhere. I want to do this. And those are all great and good, but what are the values within you that are going to take you there? And for those of you who don't know me, I have spent the last 30 years working with women entrepreneurs as a business coach to help them to find the priorities in their life towards not only the success of their business, but the happiness and the joy in their life. And while I've stepped away from that for the most part, I can't help but take the many years of teachings and learning that I did through it all. I mean, my gosh, so much of it. So that's really what I want to share with you today. And that's really what this channel is about for the most part. While we do stuff in the garden and we do it outside, because I think that that is one of the best places to really get in touch with yourself. Uh, there's times that we need to step back from the garden because it's sleeping. I have my indoor garden, which next week, I think I'm going to be doing a whole indoor garden tour with you with both my hydroponics and different things. So that'll be to come. But today, I want you to think about a word that would represent what you want for the year ahead. And I will share with you, sometimes we get these little nudges of the word that we should use, like something, sometimes it's a little nudge and sometimes it's, kind of smacks us upside the head because it's like, so wow, I got smacked upside the head. So I had a word that's been sitting on my bookshelf in my office for years. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when we have something sitting there, it's been sitting in the same place for a long time, you don't even really see it anymore. And I talked about that last year when we were doing the windowscape here in the kitchen. And so this is what I had, and I'll bring it up close to the camera. But it was this word ambitious, which might seem like, what, huh? Well, I want to tell you a story about how this word, it's actually a bookmark. It's got my name on one side and the word ambitious on the other side. And this came to be and came to eventually end up on my bookshelf because of a Christmas 18 years ago when my mom was here, and it was my mom's last Christmas with us here on the planet. And she had been very sick with ovarian cancer. She was feeling better. And we came together right here in this dining room, much bigger dining room table at the time. And we celebrated. We were excited to all be together to celebrate Christmas. My siblings were here and their family. And so I asked so here's the thing for me when it comes to Christmas dinner. Like, I think Christmas dinner, the food needs to be good and all of that for sure. Because, we all love to eat, don't we? But there's another element that's really important. And that is, for me, is the conversation and the event that happens around the food, that especially on Christmas, because it's such a rich and joyful family type dinner. So I came up with this idea. I found these bookmarks. This one's a little tattered and torn after these years, but I found these bookmarks. I don't even remember where I found them, to tell you the truth. But I had enough. There was 14 of us that were going to be together. There were enough of them. And I came up with this idea for my mom to write. I'd like to do nameplates on the table. Is that what you call them? Name tags on the table. And I wanted to use these, but then on the back of it, I wanted my mom to write the one word that she felt represented the best strength of that particular family member. And so my mom and I talked about it. She, of course, because she was always gung-ho to go for it, she sat down on Christmas Eve and she did them. She had, I don't know if you could see this, she had the most beautiful handwriting. And she agreed that, because I thought that wouldn't that be cool to have mom's handwriting on the nameplate. So all everybody saw when they sat down at the table was their name. And then next to it was a small little candle. And before we served the meal, my mom was at the head of the table. And she went to the person to the right of her, the family member that was to the right of her. She took her larger candle and she lit the candle of that family member. And then that family member, let me step back here. Then she lit the candle and then she had that family member turn their nameplate around so that they could see their word and their strength. And then my mom proceeded, and they said their name, that strength, out loud. And then my mom proceeded to tell them why she picked that word for them. And as we moved around the table, what was the most surprising element of all for me was, and I think for all of us, I mean, everybody was surprised at the whole thing because they weren't expecting it. Nobody knew about it except me and my mom. And as we moved around the table, the room just started to have this glow because all these candles were getting lit around the table. And it was the most heartfelt, beautiful thing that I will never forget as long as I live. And I hope that my family members won't either. But that's how this came to be, this ambitious. And and it's funny at the time, because as we do as human beings, I kind of went, well, ambitious, is that good? Is that bad? Am I too ambitious? Like, what does that mean? And so my mom and I did have many conversations around that after the fact. And what I came to understand is that my mom's perception of it is that I went for it. I went for what I wanted. And, I have been an entrepreneur most of my entire career, and the things, when I moved to Colorado, I've been, I'm writing my book right now, Good Dirt. And as I write in that, I used to run away a lot when I was a kid. I never went very far, but I always felt like I got to go. Love to stay, but I got to go. And so that's where my mom really came up with this word ambitious for me. And so as you think about your word for the year ahead, I want you to also think, and if you get a chance to download the goals worksheet it's a one-page worksheet of really looking at your relationships in your life. What does success look like to you in your life? What is going to be a successful look? Doing that, this past week, I wrote in the victory letter about tolerations. It's looking at what tolerations have you been putting up with you in your life. And sometimes I find sitting down and just writing down your tolerations. What is a toleration? It's a thing you've been putting up with that you really don't enjoy in your life at all. It could be everything from, something sitting in a room, something not working, a light bulb that's been out for, in a lamp for 2 months and you've never gotten around to replacing it. Those are tolerations. It could be things that people in your life that you're tolerating because they say certain things or do certain things that hurt your feelings all the time and you never say anything about it. There's just a lot of different ways to look at tolerations. And I look at, if you just could go down and make a list of when I was originally way, way back in the day when I got my very first coaching certification, that they talked about making a list of 100 for yourself. That what are the things I'm tolerating in my life? And it could be something about yourself. It could be something you don't like about your hair. It could be something you don't like about your teeth. You could be, personal items. It could be a lot of things. So I invite you to do that. And then as you look at your values-based goal sheet with your relationships, the success you want in your life, etc., that you really look towards the 6 words. So there's the one main word, like for me, which is going to be ambitious, but the 6 other words, like one word, excuse me, that's really important to me and my husband right now is fun. We just want to have fun. And the other piece is, what challenges do you see ahead of you? It's great to write down all the wonderful things, but again, we all have challenges that are in front of us. So what are the challenges ahead of you? What is worth fighting for in your life? Some challenges, sometimes we need to walk away from, and sometimes we need to head straight into them. It could be in your garden or anywhere in your life. I don't know about you, but this time of year too, I start, like, as I've had time to be away from the garden, it also is time for me to start thinking about what I want in the garden, because I've had this time to just let it rest. Like I said, I've got indoor stuff going on and the hydroponics downstairs that I'm testing out and some other things. But, my outdoor garden will always be don't tell my indoor garden this, but it'll always be my main love. And so, what is going to be worth fighting for out there? What challenges did I have last year that I need to make sure doesn't happen again this year, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure I'll probably still have the grasshoppers out there. So, there's some things you can't run away from, to be sure. And then again, those 6 words that will guide you through the year ahead with your number 1 word ahead. All right, so be sure to download this worksheet. It's like I said, below in the description. But just remember that, like, through creativity, mindset, self-discovery, and confidence building. And like, these are the things that I've taught for years and years. And those are the pieces of us. And whenever I would work with a woman entrepreneur who was struggling in her business, like, these were the areas we had to work on. Yeah, it's important to know business 101 and marketing skills and all that. But if this mindset up here isn't taken care of, it's hard to grow a garden. It's hard to do a lot of different things. And for me in the year ahead, oh my gosh, I really want to grow this channel. And again, please subscribe if you haven't done yet. Tell your friends about it. Help me grow, if you will, because there's nothing more that I want to do than to get this love of gardening and how gardening can help us. Because here's the other piece I'll share with you. What I believe, and a lot of what my book Good Dirt is really sharing, is that inside of us there is this inner girl. And if you're guys out there, or anything else, whatever you want to call your inner child, I like to think of my inner child as my inner girl. And just remembering to embrace her, because she's the one that holds your creativity and your vision and your excitement when it seems like the whole world is just, crumbling down around us. And it's been a tough year, folks. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's a lot happening here in the United States of America that we probably don't want to see happening, and a lot of division. And my hope for the year ahead is that we can find a way. And I know that when I step into my garden, again, whether it's indoors or outdoors, that it helps me to just bring that girl to life and to feel not only peace, because good grief, peace is important, but to nurture myself, and as I get my fingers in the dirt, because I do love to get my fingers in the dirt. And I just want to look at my notes here really quick just to make sure that I got everything. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. And I hope that you have just a lovely Christmas. We're in the midst of that. So happy Hanukkah as well. And I just wish you so much joy in 2026 and beyond. And as we plan our gardens and whatever we need to do, that we are ambitious, if that is our word of the year, and that we have fun. And that's what I wanted to share with you this week. I always like to say to plant often and to do it with love. And I will say that here again, because that is the most important part that we can do. Whatever it is you're planting, whatever creativity matters most to you, get out there and do it. Find time over these crazy holiday days when there's a lot going on, or you may be at a place in your life that there's not very much going on. I mean, this year, I'll tell you, my kids aren't coming home. We're not spending time with the rest of the family. It's just going to be my hubby and me for the holidays. And it's the first time ever. Was it the first time ever? No, that's not true. Back in the day, my husband and I have been married, 2026 will mark our 40th wedding anniversary. And but so it's been a long time. And I'm looking at ways to make it as joyous as possible, because I sure do love that man, and I sure do love spending my days with him. So appreciate who you're with. And like I said, you never know. Remembering that Christmas with my mom will stay in my heart forever, and as her whole life was with me. And so just remember that the time may not be there tomorrow. All right, my friends. All right, take good care.